Okay, I guess everybody is here, so I'll call the Davenport Housing Commission meeting for Monday, October 21st together. First thing I'll do roll call. Joyce?
Here.
Donald, I'm sorry.
Here.
It's only your second meeting. Tori
I'm here.
and Yolanda.
Present.
Okay, we've got a full house, which is great. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Sorry, Donald. I'll remember next time. Okay, our first point is the minutes from last month's meeting. I'll ask anybody if they have any questions or corrections. And if not, I'll ask someone to make a motion to approve those.
I make a motion to approve the September meeting minutes.
Second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the September meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Those go ahead and pass. And then we'll look at the September financial reports. Again, I'll ask if anyone has any questions or corrections here. Oops. Okay, Joyce, go ahead.
Wondering if, explain to us in the indirect cost allegation, what exactly is that again?
Okay, the indirect cost allocation is the money we pay for services like legal services or maintenance services, IT services, that are, used through it from the city. So we pay a monthly fee for those services.
You mentioned legal services. Have we had legals?
On occasion, we'll have someone that'll file something.
Well, on occasion, how about last month?
Oh, well, last month, no, it doesn't happen that often. Yeah, and on occasion, we may have 2 or 3 a year, or we may have a hearing for a termination. And so we'll go talk to the city attorney, just have them review it, make sure we're in compliance with federal laws.
Do we have any more, and maybe I'm thinking back before you were here, when at one time we were kind of, Yolanda and I and others were basically the jury to make to make decisions. And then the city decided to outsource attorney services, which I guess was okay. But I just wondered how often that happens anymore. It happened more, I guess, when we had more city-owned properties. I don't really remember any Section 8 ones back, I shouldn't say back in the day, but not too long ago, a few years ago. But they may happen.
I've probably been to 4 administrative hearings since I've been here in 2 years.
Oh,
They're very seldom. The last one I went to, I want to say was March, maybe, of 2024. But they don't happen very
has the
often.
city, because our legal staff has been shorthanded here, been outsourcing legal services? I don't know, because I know that the city has been for other things.
Specifically for this program, no, because it has not risen. We outsource when we bring in an administrative officer, but that's only been, once this year. As far as what the other departments in the city do. I'm not aware of what type of legal
Okay.
services they do.
Yeah, I just was only asking
Yeah.
about the housing commission, so.
Yeah. Yep, and I was aware that at one point, the Housing Commission would review terminations.
Right.
Okay, so you said something about a monthly fee. So is this a certain, I mean, even a certain percentage every month, and then if there's any other kind of services going on that's on top of that, or there could be some months where there's nothing?
Every month it should be the same amount. Yeah, every month it should be about the same amount. It's put in our annual budget every year, and we pay it out every month out of the budget. And that's IT services, legal services, any services that are provided by other departments in the city.
So if something comes up and like you said, you had to go to some kind of a hearing or whatever, there's no extra cost on top of that, it's just that monthly fee and it's.
I believe so, unless we do pay a hearing officer, I believe it comes from that account, I have to double check. So if you're asking me if, when we pay an administrative officer, do we pay it out of our indirect costs? I can research that and find that out for you.
And how come IT things aren't built into the budget? Because I'm assuming that's something that's used every day.
I think this is how it's built into the budget in the indirect cost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I hadn't thought about it before till the question came up, so that's fine. Anyone else have any questions on that? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the financial report.
I make a motion to approve the financial report for September.
I second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded to approve the financial report for September. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now we'll go on to the utilization report for the month of September. Does anyone have any question on these?
If I can add on the utilization, I think I spoke about this last month, but I want to reiterate. If you see, the funds that we've been allocated by HUD are significantly less than what we are spending. This is the reason that we are not able to pull as many people as we like off of the wait list. You know, there's been some questions about when are we going to open the wait list and how are we going to open it? And that has always been on the forefront of my agenda with regards to opening it more often. However, I have requested additional funding from HUD, and unfortunately, because of our 120% payment standard, and because of the changes that we've had, the modifications we've had in the bedroom size, we're just now seeing the results of making, which are good things, right? Increasing the payment standard helps people get into housing quicker, and not limiting and restricting families on the size of units, those are great. But it does decrease the amount of funding that's available to put new vouchers out there. So I have requested additional funding. It is being reviewed. But as it stands, the additional funding would now just be able to offset some of the expenses that we've had. Because as you see, we spent $407,000, but we only received $384,000.
How far in your request? I'm sure it's got to go through the city first, and then before it ever gets to Kansas City or Washington or whichever.
I just go directly, I don't go through the city.
You don't?
No.
Okay,
So,
thank you for
yes.
telling me that.
Yeah, I directly go to HUD and I give them what's called a 2-year tool analysis, which is a forecasting tool that says, hey, we're spending this much, we have this many vouchers out there, we need more funding, and this is why we need it. And it's a very, HUD, it's a great forecasting tool, but it requires a lot of work and attention to detail. And HUD looks very closely at what your utilization, what your success rate is, how quickly are you getting people into housing,
How many people are you losing a month? And those are the things that I could tie into this report, so these numbers would be more meaningful. Because I think if you look at this and you say, wow, how are we spending so much money? Well, there's a story behind this. The story is that we're still up until December 31st of 2024 under the 120% payment standard. In addition, the new payment standard came out and effective October 1st. And the fair market rents are significantly higher than they were last year, which is not a bad thing, but we all know that the rental market is very hot, or it's very difficult, right? Right now. And so we are now trying to balance decreasing the payment standard with adjusting to the new high rents without receiving additional funding. So unfortunately, that means less vouchers will be issued, and I don't have a date that I could put, because it was our hopes that we could be talking about opening the wait list again next year. But at this time, I don't have a date to disclose that we would be able to open up the wait list again.
When you mentioned that at the 120%, you're filling things faster, obviously, we've got many people who want to get in, but are you getting any guidance from HUD as to if that should be raised again, or how we can get more people? That's my goal, is to get more people.
That's my goal too, Commissioner
Yeah,
Wessing.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, but we are locked in at 120% until in December. So those people who have vouchers now, those 30 open vouchers that we have, 31 open vouchers that we have on the street, are locked into the 120% payment standard. As of effective January 1st, when participants renew, they will be dropped down to the 110% payment standard of the new fair market rents.
Do the landlords know that?
They receive notification.
So can they cancel their lease?
So they have a year. So we give them 12, it's called a gradual decrease. So we don't automatically decrease. Those that are renewing this year, their landlord will get the notice that effective January of 2026, they will go back to the 110%. But, I mean, keeping in mind that we have to incur that cost for the next year, and I have to be able to budget for that. And all that impacts when we can pull from the wait list. And of course, we are now billing for all ports, so we're not absorbing ports as we had been before. And that's slowed down significantly as well. I can report on how many ports next month that we've taken in and where they've come from. I know that that's been a question, as where are these ports coming from? How many are we receiving a
That'd
month?
be interesting. if you
Yeah,
could
I can
give us
definitely
a-
report on the ports next month.
You said you're billing the ports, like how much are you billing them? What are you?
So the way billing works is, we do not get to set our administrative fee for a housing authority to pay us to administer that port, that voucher,
So
okay?
you charge them administrative fee.
Correct. We charge them administrative fee, they pay us, and then they pay us, essentially, the city pays it, right? Then we get reimbursed by that housing authority. But keep in mind, our administrative fee is $60.15 sometimes, and we have to take the lower of the two. We have some administrative fees that are $47, some as low as $41. So we can bill them, but they have the option of taking the lower of the two, and of course, they take the lower of the two, whatever's more cost efficient. So, but we don't get any credit, if this makes sense, for billing, because we have not absorbed them. So they don't count as, we don't own that voucher. That voucher is owned by the housing authority, the other housing authority, because they're paying us for that voucher. But it does impact how many my staff can manage. And of course, we're losing a staff member. We do not have an administrative assistant at this time. So staff is down as well. And those are factors that impact that wait list as well. So,
Yeah, when you mentioned administrative assistant, you said that last month. Have you been getting applicants for?
we are interviewing. We're still interviewing applicants for administrative assistant.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going well.
Okay, good. No, I didn't know. I remember last month you had mentioned that then. Okay. Well, if there's no other questions on that, I will ask for a motion to approve the utilization report for September.
I motion to approve the September utilization report.
Second.
Great, it's been moved and seconded to approve the utilization report for September. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Anything under communications? Does anybody have any? I know the council, people tell when they're having ward meetings and stuff. But anything from you, Malia?
Nothing new staff-wise. I have my, I generally have a call with my HUD rep, every couple of months. So we have that coming up. They want to know what our goals are. And some of what I'll talk about under new business is our, annual plan. And so that's some of the things that I'll have to report on to them, how we're coming on
Okay.
with our annual plan, and our administrative plan.
Well, is there any old business? Otherwise, I'll go to new business and have you tell us about that, please.
I don't know if this is old business
Oh,
or
I'm
not.
sorry.
But last month, you said of the 702 vouchers we had last month, there were 19 households that were zero income. Well, this month, we have 705 households. Does that 19 number still change, or?
I don't know that for sure. I could double check. You know, as we've added, maybe they're not. I mean, that number is very fluid.
Yeah.
As people come on and off the program, it's not a number that stays consistent, but I can, if you want that number for the month of September, how many households were zero income?
Well, for this, because it's gone up three households, or 3 vouchers, more or less, for this month. I just wondered if the new ones, if they were zero income, or if it stayed the 19 households from the month before or not.
Okay. I can look into that and then email you that information.
Okay, thanks, Joyce.
Sorry if I make copies, because I know everyone is relatively busy, and I want to be respectful of your time for students. But I think that there are some upcoming deadlines that I wanted to make you all aware of with regards to changes in the annual plan and changes in the admin plan. And I just kind of wanted to go through that with you briefly. I know that I had stated that last month we would have a presentation on FYI and HUD Bash, and I wanted to reserve that opportunity to later on in this, ooh, sounds like an echo. Sorry, let me get a copy of it. So later on in the spring, once we've had the changes in the admin plan and changes in our annual plan updated. As you know, last year, we had HOPMA changes and we had changes in we had updated our new administrative plan, and we had to report on our annual plan. We had not reported on our annual plan for 2 years. This year, I'm trying to kind of get a head start on what our annual plan will look like. So I will be presenting information to you on our goals and objectives for next year. So we'll kind of be doing a little bit more strategic planning. My expectation is that we have this plan together and present it to you by January, because the plan has to go out for 45-day public comment. So we're looking at about February through April for that 45 days. If there's any changes if there are any major changes in our admin plan, as I mentioned to you last meeting, the decrease of 120% would be a change in our admin plan. I think there were a couple other things. I'll have to go back and look at my notes. We have to present that to the Housing Commission, and you have to approve that as well.
Malia, refresh my memory. Is that one of those things that has to be a public
Correct.
public
Yes.
notice?
So I will present it to you, the Housing Commission, and it will be on our website for 45 days. And then there will be a copy of it in our office that the public has access to Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
But I think they put a notice in the paper too that it's available at the
Yep.
office.
Yep.
Okay.
And so it has to be available and open for public comment, but we have to have it reviewed by the Housing Commission. So there are some dates that are coming up that are very important. Of course, we need a quorum to approve it, so I just want to kind of put this out there. So as you guys are making plans, that you're aware of these dates are vital, because I cannot be late. We cannot be late on submitting our annual plan to HUD. There's a chance that we could be audited again if we don't submit our annual plan on time. With regards to the admin plan, we have to have it signed by every housing commissioner, the changes to the admin plan for it to be updated. That will also be available to the public the same way the annual plan will be. It'll be available on our website and it'll be available in our office Monday through Friday. And so expect that in January, I'll be presenting on our annual plan goals and objectives and our changes to our administrative plan. So I just wanted for you to have that. We're more flexible with the changes in our administrative plan. HUD just needs to see that we have approval of our housing commission, but the hard deadlines are for the annual plan.
And you're anticipating, oh, go, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yolanda.
So these, you're both voting these out, the admin and the annual.
Yes. Yep, all the changes that we're planning to make, some of those I'm just, right off the top of my head, I know that one of the changes is the payment standards, a couple other things, I'm just sorry, I apologize, I'm drawing a complete blank, but we will have that information available. It will be in a PowerPoint presentation, it'll be provided to you before we present. It'll probably be myself and Kelly as well, and then give you the opportunity to ask questions.
Okay, I guess my question was the same as Yolanda. I was just wondering what you were anticipating as far as
I could have,
changes.
Gone over the things.
I did. I presented on the annual plan, but that was last year's annual plan. And so we'll probably modify it a little bit more. I think I want to address the goals that we met, the things that we're still working on, the strategic plan. And then this year, we also have to be working on our 5-year plan. I was not here, obviously, when we did a 5-year plan before, but HUD wants to know what are your long-term goals for the program. So lots of planning and forecasting in the future. And so that's new to come. But again, I wanted everyone to be aware of what the deadlines would be specifically to the annual plan. But this is a tentative plan. And then we will present on FYI, and we'll talk about our HUD VASH programs, and we'll talk about wait lists and processes, and those types of things that are of interest to you. But we definitely want the Housing Commission's input on our annual plan and our strategic goals for the program. Are there any more questions? Okay, so that will be a longer night, I'm sorry. But it's better for me to just, dive deep and get into both of those admin plan and annual plan at the same time. And that's all I have.
No, that's fine. We're a little bit long. That's fine. Yolanda and I have been around long enough. We're used to meetings where we went for a couple hours and crying.
For planning purposes, I know I'm skipping ahead.
Okay.
Since this is going to be running out in June, third Monday.
Is it Martin Luther King holiday? Okay, yes, that's a good point. Are we going to, so that I can go ahead and make a change, are we able to decide what Monday we're gonna meet that month?
That would benefit me because I
Okay.
just travel a little bit. So,
Okay. Okay,
I just need to know what the consensus is, so.
I would say that specific Monday, I might be traveling as well.
No.
Oh, we're
not gonna-
closed.
we're not gonna-
Yeah.
yeah.
We're not
Yeah, we're gonna
gonna-
be, right. We usually decide the month before, but it's better, you're right, because we've got,
Won't be here.
yeah. Yeah, and that same, we've got Thanksgiving as well, and then we've got the week of Christmas, and then, but to your point, yes, because this is something that would have to have commission approval. Looking ahead, are we gonna do the fourth Monday or?
The week after, that'll give you an extra week to get stuff together.
Okay,
So the
Just,
27th, right? Is that right?
is that what that date is?
Of
Okay.
January.
January 27th, I'll mark it on my form so that I know where, okay. Are there any other questions at this time? That's all I have. Okay.
I don't think so. Does anybody else have any questions or concerns, or Joyce?
Well, I had,
Sure.
I'm not sure which other one's supposed to be underneath, but this rent abatement that ordinance the city is considering.
Oh.
If this would happen, would this also include any kind of vouchers?
Oh, good question.
It's possible. I've got to be honest with you. I don't know a whole lot about the rent abatement. So, once it's official, we'll have to see because there could be some overlap between HUS and code enforcement guidance. But I'm in communication with Rich and Beth. But yeah, as that becomes more, as more information becomes available, I'll be able to kind of say how that impacts. As of yet, it hasn't impacted us and I haven't been involved in those conversations. But once I know more, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Great. Anybody else have any questions or concerns here?
I just want to talk about the December meeting.
Okay.
Can we, how's everybody feeling about the 16th? Otherwise, the 23rd, I'm unavailable, and the 30th, I'm unavailable.
December 16th.
The 16th, are you free?
December 16th works for me.
Does that work for everybody else?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay, Malia?
Yep, that works, yep.
Okay, thanks, Yolanda, for looking ahead.
Then November is the same, the 18th.
18th,
Are
yep.
you busy then?
Nope.
Okay. I understand traveling and things. My daughter tells me at the last minute. Hopefully your daughters are better than mine.
Not really. Not really.
Okay, well, if nobody else has anything, I see our next meeting will be November 18. I'll ask for a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Everyone.